Maestro, algunas gentes dicen que usted está loco.
El primero que lo dijo fue precisamente Dalí.
In December of 1929, 25-year-old Salvador Dali was thrown out of his house by his father. He disapproved of his son's recent exhibition in Paris, where he displayed a drawing of the Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ with a shocking inscription that read, "Sometimes I spit for fun on my mother's portrait." Outraged, his father demanded for his son to take it down, a request Dali refused. What's more is that the ostracism was extended to the entire village, as his father was a man of great local influence. In that same year, Dali joined the Surrealist movement, soon becoming one of its leading exponents. Surrealism arose in Europe in the aftermath of World War I. Many Paris-based artists became involved with Dadaism, believing that excessive rational thought and traditionally bourgeois values were what brought on the conflicts of war. After the war, André Breton, a French poet, became involved in the Dada art movement. He began experimenting with his art and spontaneously creating without censoring his thoughts, a method of art making called automatism. In his creative evolution, Breton aimed to create societal change. His group grew and included artists such as Max Ernst, Man Ray, and Salvador Dali. As they worked together to develop the group's philosophy, they looked at Sigmund Freud's work with free association, dream analysis, and the unconscious. They believed that in liberating one's imagination, great art would be created to free people from false rationality and restrictive customs and structures. In his first Manifesto of Surrealism, Breton wrote, "Surrealism is based on the belief in the superior reality of certain forms of previously neglected associations, in the omnipotence of dream, in the disinterested play of thought." After being outcast from his community, a destitute Dali moved to a small settlement in Port Lligat, Catalonia, where he spent all of his money to buy a single-room fishing shack for him and his wife. Yet the features of this very exact location have inspired some of Dali's best works. The craggy Cap de Cruz coastline and the nearby Mount Penis, for example, can be seen in the architectonic Angelus of Millet, the weaning of furniture and nutrition, swans reflecting elephants, and most importantly, in the persistence of memory. This painting is a physically small piece, at 9.5 by 13 inches, only slightly bigger than a letter-sized paper, but its influence on art history and culture is immense. Although it is one of Dali's earlier pieces, it was career-defining in its execution of the Surrealist ideals. Dali painted this piece in 1931 at the young age of 27, when the Surrealist movement was at its peak. At this time, he was experimenting with the paranoid critical method, where he would self-induce a hypnotic state in order to create his works completely uninhibited. The persistence of memory has been a model of the Surrealist art due to Dali's ability to paint familiar objects in an unfamiliar way. He evokes confusion, fear, and discomfort, yet we can't help but look. Almost a century later, this piece remains a portrait of Dali's uncompromising vision. The subject matter in this work is strange. The atmosphere is dreamlike. You probably better know this painting as the one with the melting clocks or the soft watches. The setting is that of a bare Catalonia coast. The bottom 2/3 of the painting is covered with sand, placed in the shadows. As we move up out of the shadows, the color of the sand lightens. It blends into the sun-soaked, light blue sea that seamlessly transitions into the light yellow and blue of the clear, calm sky. The foreground is dominated by 4 watches and a figure-like shape in the middle of the canvas. But they're unlike any watch we'd find in the real world. They're melting and are draped over other objects, scattered throughout the canvas like toys across the floor of a child's bedroom. At the bottom left corner of the canvas is a wooden platform that holds Dali's faint signature, as well as a gray barren tree that's sprouting out of it. A silver pocket watch is draped over its one withering branch. It has a blue face and a silver crown on the top. We can only see one of the arms, pointing to 6. A second clock with similar features drapes over the edge of the wooden platform. Its bottom half almost looks like a melted cheese that's been left in the sun for too long. It is golden with a blue face, and the time reads 6:55. A fly sits at the top of the clock and casts a shadow near the number 12. Next to it is a third clock made of brass with its face hidden. It is covered in ants, a sight that resembles decaying flesh, unexpected in this context, making it appear as if it's organic. The last watch is seen draped over this large grotesque figure. It resembles the watch on the tree in that it's silver, has a blue face, and only has one hand shown pointing to 12. We can almost make out that the figure is a fleshy gray human face with a wrinkled brow, a closed eye, a lengthy set of eyelashes, and a nose seen in profile with a soft, large, unidentifiable figure oozing out of it. Perhaps it is a snail, keeping in line with the theme of insects and mollusks seen across the canvas. The ambiguity of the figure aligns with the state of dreaming, where the dreamer cannot pinpoint the exact features or forms of the subjects they see and interact with. Most believe that the figure is a self-portrait of Dalí himself. He's represented himself in several of his pieces in abstract, unconventional forms, like those seen in Soft Self-Portrait with Grilled Bacon and Le Sommeil. Dalí liked to portray things that were in states of becoming and unbecoming. Here he used sagging and flaccid pieces to convey that. He once referred to the melting watches as the camembert of time. In this vivid dreamscape that he's created, watches have no purpose, no utility, nor does the sand that could be interpreted as the sands of time or sands in an hourglass. Rather, time is depicted as a construct of the mind, unlike anything one would experience in everyday life. Dalí has gained world-renowned fame both from his extraordinary talent and his odd personality. He was unconventional, eccentric, shocking, and outrageous, and so he found himself to be in the limelight often, like when he wore a full deep-sea diving suit to an exhibition opening in 1936 and almost suffocated, or when he went for a walk in Paris with an anteater on a leash. These stunts at times overshadowed the significance of his oeuvre. For a period of time near the end of his life, scholars even discounted much of his work, claiming that he peaked as an artist in the 1920s and 30s. Yet the influence of this surrealist master has withstood the test of time. He was a revolutionary artist. He rebelled against the traditional practices of art and politics and was not afraid to express surrealism in everything he said and did. He said, "Surrealism is destructive, but it destroys only what is considered to be shackles limiting our vision."